So what's the mindset of the team, Jeff? Lost 3 in a row, 1-4, a lot of changes this week. Just again, what's the mindset right now?
Well, I think we've had a good week of practice, and our guys are working hard, and that's all you can do. I think you got to be able to work your way through the struggles and adversity you hit, and continue to push forward. I think our guys have done a good job. They've done everything we've asked. They just got to continue to work hard on improving, and then really got to carry it over to game day, to test day, and that's kind of what we need to make sure we do. That's what we haven't seen, and that's where sometimes the inexperience is showing. So we've got to go out there and find a way to get it done on Saturday.
Do you feel good about the changes that you've made at any of the positions, and that, as you mentioned, now it just has to carry over into the game?
Well, every week we're trying to improve and put the best 11 on the field we can at a time, and we want competition. Nothing's going to be handed to anybody, and when you're not winning, you know what, you got to produce and you got to be productive. So, playing multiple guys will give us hopefully a little more depth if we need to change. It'll hopefully encourage others to play extremely hard and produce while they're on the field. And if that happens, well, then they won't come out as much. But, our guys, I think, like I said, are working hard. We just got to carry it over to game day and go out there, find ways to compete and get better.
Speaking of competition, how did the quarterback situation play out this week?
You know what? I think both Jack and Aiden had good weeks of practice. Anytime with a quarterback, when you're not winning, you're going to get most of the blame, and when you are winning, you're going to get way too much credit. And so right now, last week was tough in protection and some things like that, but we want production, and I think Jack understands that we want him to go out there and play well and produce and get better, and we think Aiden is a capable backup that if he needs to go in, he should be ready to play. But normally throughout the course of the season, there are going to be multiple guys, and we were fortunate the first 2 years to go with 2 quarterbacks, and they gave us a backup plan, and now we have to adjust. And I think that the 2 that are capable on the roster right now that have been practicing well are Jack and Aiden.
Will Jack start Saturday?
Yeah, Jack will start.
And then it looks like Tario Fuller, Richie Worship are getting closer and closer. You've been cautiously optimistic. Can you say the chances of us maybe seeing those guys on Saturday?
I think both those players will be dressed and hopefully be ready to go. We'll see how they responded today and how they feel on Friday and Saturday, but I'm hopeful both will dress, and I'd like to get them both in the game if we can, but we'll still give it all the way up until game time.
Milton Wright and then Victor Beach.
Milton, he's had a red jersey on. We'll see how, he continues to stay in the protocol all the way up until game time, and Victor Beach is a no-go.
I know you've always been hopeful about Richie getting back, but to even take this step for him to be dressed for a game has to be an uplifting moment for you guys to see, right?
I think so. Richie's a great leader for our team. I wish he would have been healthy all year because he's vocal. Our kids follow what he says. He's a tremendous asset for this team, and if he was playing, he'd be even more valuable. So to get him back on the field is a plus for our team, but really a plus for him that he's been able to overcome all the setbacks he's had with his knee and figure out a way to get back on the field. So it's a credit to all the hard work he's put in, and our trainers. They've done a good job.
How much weight did Tario lose, and how much has he gotten back?
Well, that's going to be what you're going to see. Is both guys are they 100%? No, they're not. So you like to kind of hope that they can get as close to that as possible, but until you get in the game, you won't be able to tell.
Can you give us an update on Rondale, timetable-wise, how he's progressing?
Well, I wish I knew the timetable. I do not know. I know he's progressing. I know it was a good tear or whatever of the hamstring or something like that he had, and whenever he can get back fully healthy, we'd love to have him, of course, but I don't know exactly when, and I couldn't give you a timetable.
Was there like a grade tear for that?
I don't know exactly what it was called, but it was a good tear or strain or whatever you want to call of the hamstring, all the way from the upper part down to the bottom, which is a little more unusual than just a normal one, I believe. But that's just me giving that information. I don't know exactly what it was called. I know he's feeling better. I know he's working hard. I know he can recover from it. We just want to make sure he feels good when he steps on the field again.
But you're still optimistic you'll get him back at some point this year?
I think so. I just don't know when.
Xander Horvath, Will we see him Saturday? Can you say?
Probably unlikely. Probably be out.
And Watts is an elbow,
Watts be out. Yes,
extended period of time with an elbow.
probably so.
Marcus Bailey sent out a tweet today that his surgery went well and that he's getting ready for the draft next year. So I don't know if you've had conversation with him, but that would probably nix him trying to get an extra year. And is that kind of your understanding?
Well, we discussed a lot of options way back, and I wanted to leave it up to him, and I knew which way he's leaning. So I haven't spoken to him in the last just a little bit. We wanted to let him do what he needed to do and see whatever doctor he wanted to go to and make sure that him and his family felt comfortable. So I think your assumption is probably on.
You have a good relationship with Michael Oxley. I know he preceded you at Illinois. You both worked under Ron Zook. You have a relationship. You maintain a relationship.
You know what? We know of each other, and he did a great job at Illinois before he left there. And then, of course, he went to Alabama and learned that system. And I think he's inherited a good Maryland team, and he got some graduate transfers, and he's confident in what they're doing. They've had some big wins. I think he's a very, very good football coach that knows that area and knows how to recruit that area. And I think he'll do an outstanding job at Maryland.
Since everybody's got an opinion, Jeff, what's your opinion on these moon uniforms?
Well, I think they're pretty sharp looking. I'll give them credit. I think they did a good job with it. I know our players were excited to put it on, and I think some of the fans were excited to see it. But I think it represents, the history of the university and, everything that's been put into it. And I think it resembles, a lot of great things and a lot of achievements that have happened from people that have graduated from here. And I know that our players are excited to wear it.